Good morning, everybody. Welcome to FIF. This episode, we're going to talk about actual goals. And why I chose this particular topic is because I think this is something that we can all share. We can all share in common. We have on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, some of us even on an annual basis, right? And the reason why I want to choose the topic of goals for this FIF session is because FIF, for those of you who don't know, it's Fuck It Friday. And the reason why I want to illustrate goals in this particular session is because there's a difference between goals and commitments. You see, let me explain. So I may have a goal to pay my mortgage. I may even have a goal to pay my car. You may have those same goals, right? But when you really think about it, like, it can't be a goal. That's an actual commitment, man. So when you buy a house or when you you even rent an apartment, you have a specific goal to make sure you meet your end of that responsibility, right? That's how it starts. But you're going to notice that there's one thing that may set you apart from everyone else. And it's that you're going through life not necessarily goal oriented, but commitment oriented. Now, let me explain. When you go, I did a podcast yesterday or a live stream yesterday. I talked about the difference between want and need. You see, I believe that a goal is much like saying, I want something, right? Like, I want to make this much money, or I want to go date that person, or I want to marry that person. But when you change your view and your perception and you actually make it something that you commit to, meaning you need to do it, right? A commitment equals like that word need, whereas like a goal is just something that you want. In my opinion, I believe the idea of setting goals is just giving yourself an out. It's giving yourself a padding, meaning it's okay if you don't necessarily hit your goals, because society is wired in a way that a goal is just a goal. A goal is just something that you're trying to reach for. Whereas a commitment, we have it ingrained within our heads that a commitment is something that we must do, right? So you're basically shifting the concept or the words from I should to I must. And there's something powerful about that. You see, let me explain. When I set goals, or when I used to set goals, it was something that was kind of like reaching for the stars, right? And typically at a point when you're setting goals, you're doing it most of the time, you're doing it from an optimistic point of view. And so, depending on how you feel, right? And typically when we set our goals, we actually look at our past in order to determine what those goals are. And I want you to pay attention to the next time or the process that you use the next time you set a goal. And I want you to pay attention to how your brain, computes that particular number or that objective. And what I've learned in my history is that when I set goals, like it's not as strong as me setting a commitment, meaning that if I want to hit something, it's not going to be as strong as if I need to hit it. Again, when you picked up your car right now, the car that you drive, if you're paying for your own car, I hope you're paying for your own car, boo-boo. If you're not paying for your car, man, there's something wrong with that. Or maybe your house or your rent. There's these financial commitments, not goals, right? So when you sign that lease for that apartment, or you sign that mortgage note for your first house, or you sign that car note when you drive off the lot, there's nothing on there that, all those disclosures, it doesn't say, hey, you promised to keep the goal of paying us this note and we're good. We'll let you go ahead and finance it. All that fine print, all those paperworks that you sign are basically binding you to that commitment. So in other words, if you mess up, if your goal isn't strong enough, or if you're not eager enough to hit your goal of paying this car, please believe they're going to repo that car back, or they're going to take that house away, or you're going to get kicked out of that apartment. And so we unknowingly will shift our view from looking at paying our mortgage, our rent, our car note, or any financial binding responsibility from a goal to an actual need, because we see the consequence of not hitting that commitment. And maybe that might be the hack of it. You see, I believe that we should look at goals and say, fuck a goal, man, I got a commitment, bro. Meaning I'm going to be doing these activities. I'm going to be doing this task. I'm going to be here for the next month. So if I'm going to take myself away from my family for the next 10 hours, or if I'm going to dedicate my energy and my time towards this one particular objective, This isn't a goal, boo-boo. This is a motherfucking commitment. Does that make sense? So you got to look at it like that. And depending on where your mindset is at right now, you may have a difficult time of looking at your goals as commitments, and it's not your fault. Most of the time, it happens because your surroundings are off. Meaning the sound that you surround yourself around sounds like, oh, it'd be nice, or oh man, we've never done that, or oh, that's too difficult, right? So there's all kinds of different influences around us. But when we learn how to mute that noise out and just hold commitment to ourselves, meaning regardless if my environment's never hit it, regardless if these motherfuckers never seen it happen, I'm gonna make sure I make it happen. Does that make sense? So there's a little bit more control. There's a little bit more accountability when you look at things as a commitment, because when you give yourself the view, or at least the courage enough to replace goals with commitments, you have to, right? Like you got something on the line. And what you're going to find is that you become more efficient, because a commitment is something that you need to hit or something bad will happen. Whereas a goal is something that would be nice to hit, but if you don't hit your goal, fuck it, right? There's a ton of people who's not hitting their goals. And so that's why I think that the word goal, or just the concept of setting goals, is something that kind of just leaves us a little buffer. Like, we're okay if we don't hit it, right? No one's going to be mad. Everyone's going to understand. But if you miss your commitment, man, people look at you like trash, don't they? Like, what's wrong with you? You didn't even meet your commitment. You know what I mean? Like, there's something off. And if that's what it takes for us in order to hit our dreams or achieve our dreams, maybe it's that fucking word that's standing in front of us. Maybe it's the idea and understanding of goals versus commitments. And so the next time you set a goal, or the next time that there's a level that you're trying to reach, and right now you might be calling it goal, I want you to shift your perception and look at it as a commitment, meaning I am going to do it. And here's the hack. Here's the real true hack, okay? You have to walk, talk, and act like you've already hit that motherfucking commitment. That's it. Right? Meaning you may never have earned $360,000 a year. You may never have broke that $500,000 mark. But please believe, if you're committed to doing it, you got to walk, talk, and act like you're already doing it. And the only way that you could do it, now think about it, you might be like, but D, how the fuck am I gonna walk, talk, and act like I'm doing it if I've never done it? You see, that's the key, is because when you commit yourself, you then have to live in that environment. You have to live in that kind of, I want to say virtual reality, but kind of just fantasy, as if it's already happened. And the only way that you're going to accept that you're doing it correctly is if you're mirroring those who've already done it. You see how that works? And so what happens with your attention is it becomes hyper-focused as opposed to being distracted. And then you find individuals who are actually achieving that particular goal. And now you start focusing on the details. Like, okay, well, I've never hit it, but I'm gonna act like I've hit it before. I'm gonna act like I'm doing it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, bro. And sometimes that's the thing, but deep inside that meaning, what happens when you fake it till you make it is that you're actually studying the model of success. Because if you find someone who's actually already achieving whatever it is you want to achieve, whether around your environment or virtually through social media or YouTube, the bottom line is you just got to pick up what they're doing and then model it, right? Success leaves clues. Bottom line. That was a quote by Jim Rohn. And it's so true. Because if you look at the successful people in the successful path, they're leaving clues behind them. They're telling you how they executed certain things. And what I noticed, the difference between most is that they don't look at goals as a goal. They look at a goal as a commitment. Like, hey, I'm going to commit myself. I'm going to put everything I have on the line. I'm going to go full force with no fear and just absolute courage that this will happen. If you think about it, a lot of the entrepreneurs, a lot of the people that reach that climate of success are those who are willing to put everything that they had on the line, meaning they looked at it as a commitment. Because what we learned about commitment versus goals is that commitment is something that if you don't make happen, there's a repercussion. there's a consequence to that bitch, right? Whereas a goal, like I have a goal to lose 30 pounds, or I got a goal to close 30 units this month. But deep inside, we're not going to react instinctively as if it were a commitment, as if it were our mortgage bill, as if it were our rent. I want you to think about something. The very first time that you bought your car, or very first time that you started paying rent or a mortgage, at first it was scary, wasn't it? Because that goal payment, or that maybe that mortgage payment wasn't something that you were used to, right? Or that car payment wasn't something that you're used to paying, and it was kind of scary. But what happens after a while goes by? What happens is you adapt, because you're no longer looking at it as something that you wanted. It's something that you need. It's something that you need to pay, or they're going to take it away. And so I invite you to look at your goals that way. Look at your goals in that particular fashion, right? So the next time you set a goal, and you probably more likely going to set a goal this week, because as you go into the weekend, you got particular goals that you might have set up. So you might, you might have the goal to make time this weekend, to go do things with your friends or your family, or you may have a goal to, invest in yourself, like pick up a book or hire a mentor or enroll into the Sales Boost Camp. And I want you to realize that the reason why you have that goal is because it can give you something, right? So you set a goal because maybe it can give you that financial freedom, or it can replenish your bank account, or it could pay your bills, or it could buy you that new Gucci shirt that you really wanted. And I want you to really pay attention to the way you process that goal, because until you learn how to process it in a different way and you look at it as a commitment, you're going to give yourself a handicap in terms of reaching that particular destination. You see, one of the main things that I've learned in actually dealing with, not only in business, but also assisting and creating the academy for mortgage loan officers, is that I get a lot of DMs. I get a lot of questions, right? And for those of you who are watching who sent me a question, it's not saying anything bad against you, but what I'm saying is that most of these questions always start out like this. Hey D, I really want to get in your course. I thank you so much. You've helped me make so many different sales. Once I get my money right, I'm going to go ahead and enroll in your course. I'm going to go ahead and I want to work with you. I want to achieve greatness. And I look at that as a statement of a goal, meaning it's not commitment, right? Because those who are committed are already enrolled into the university. Those who are actually committed are already winning, because they've put their money on the line. They've put themselves on the line. They put what they have, in front of them. And so whether it was an investment for an enrollment or as a monthly payment to enroll into the course, the bottom line is that they have skin in the game. And that is, my friend, is a commitment, because when you commit, you're putting money in the game, right? Think about your prospects. So some of us will look at it as like, hey, I can invoice your appraisal, or I don't charge you for an appraisal, right? Like that. But you want that though, don't you? Because you want their skin in the game. Otherwise, you don't know if they're fully committed. And so when I get these direct messages, or I get these emails ranting and raving about how the content and how the techniques have helped them make money, but they're still not able to say, hey man, I'm gonna commit myself because I realize that your techniques have really work and it's helping me and others become top performers within our environment. But you know what? Hold up. My goal is to do it later. In the meantime, right? Like it kind of baffles me. And that's why I said that in the statement yesterday, like people love free shit. People love it, bro. Like go to Costco one day and look how many people love free shit. But the bottom line is, until you actually invest in yourself, you're not going to really realize the rewards of your actual return, right? If you think about it, the whole reason why you even paid for your NMLS license, or the reason why you're taking the current risk right now to earn a minimum wage hourly, or even if you're not earning any salary, the reason why you're going full commission is because you see the potential, you see the upside, right? So that now becomes a commitment to make with what you got. So you've committed yourself with the risk of not earning any money, simply based off of the commitment of being a loan officer. If you really think about it, because if you didn't close any deals, tell me, comment below in the section box. If you close no deals, how much will you make? Some of you are going to say minimum wage, like whether it's like $9, $10 an hour, or some of you are going to say I get a draw, or I get a guarantee of like $2,000. But every single day you're putting yourself in this commitment where you have to make return on your investment, right? You're investing your time, you're investing your energy. You've put everything on the line where if you don't make a sale or if you don't succeed or you don't win, you're not going to eat, right? The funny thing is though, is that we'll do that as opposed to kind of invest into a vehicle that's going to ensure that we make it through the rough terrain, to make sure that we go directly to the right destination. So we'll invest halfway and get our license, but we won't necessarily take the next step that requires commitment. It requires investment. It requires, you know what, just basically a leap of faith. And the surprising thing is that those students who are already enrolled in the course, whether it's the Closing Secrets 101, that's the minimum package, you know, what we call the basic model. And then you got the Secret Formula. Secret Formula is more or less like the sport package, right? And it's got pretty much almost everything that the Boost Camp has except the private mentoring. And then you got the luxury model, right? Which is the Sales Boost Camp. This is something that we work together. This is something where you get all of the content that's available in the academy. And for those who actually took the leap of faith and enrolled themselves are finding most success right now. It's weird because your head looks at it in a different way. It's not the same as getting free content. It's not the same as oh, let me just go ahead and catch the next video whenever I get a chance. It's all about looking at goals and say, fuck that goal. I got a commitment to achieve. I got a commitment to deliver. I've got a commitment to earn myself into that top 10 on my sales floor. You see, that's the difference. And that's why those who are already enrolled are already seeing the results. They're already winning. But the best part about it, what I fucking love about it, is the fact that they've already recouped their investment after actually investing in themselves. And so now they have the answers to internalize the process and continue winning. All because they made a commitment. It was no longer a goal. It was no longer crossing fingers and saying, man, I hope I make this work. It's crazy, man. You know, to see it from this point of view, I really want you guys to adopt that perception. I want you guys to adopt that kind of way of thinking. And the next time you go into a challenge, you can either make a goal or you can make a commitment. You can cross your fingers and hope that you surpass it, or you can make a commitment and make sure that you make it happen. Make sense? So please, if you guys are watching this right now, hit the like video. Don't forget to comment your takeaway in this FIF session. And please subscribe, share the link to the video wherever you're finding this content on, and check out the other videos. If I've earned your cred and I earned your admiration, go to salesremastered.com, request a copy of my free sales script, take a gander at the courses that are available online that are changing loan officers' lives all across the country. And it feels good because we as a community who are already invested in the Sales Remastered Bootcamp, you have access to all the tools that are going to change your goals to commitments and make your dreams into reality. So I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day. Hope you guys enjoyed this FIF, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream.